Imagine a poor boy in a small village who works 17 hours a day in the fields just to eat once. Now imagine that this boy has made a car company worth in billions. This is the story of the founder of Hyundai, Chung Ju-yung. Chung was born in 1915 in a small village in Korea. He wanted to become a school teacher, but his financial condition was so bad that he couldn't even complete his education. He had to work with his family in the fields day and night. But even after so much hard work, there were days when his family didn't even have a single meal. Proper clothes and medical care were far away. Chung had to go to the nearby city many times to sell wood. There he saw people having regular good meals and they wore nice clothes without working in the fields all day. Seeing all this, he started getting frustrated with their poverty and farm life and started wanting a better life for himself. One day, he read in a newspaper article that a big construction project is being built in a nearby city, and workers are needed for that project. As soon as he read this, he was thinking, and in 1932, at the age of 16, Chung took an unthinkable decision. He was going to leave his house and run away from the city. One night, Chung quietly left for the city with a friend. After walking for about 160 kilometers, he reached the city of Kovan. In the city the work was very difficult and the earnings were very low. But Chung was very happy because he was earning independently for the first time in his life. This process went on for about 2 months and then he was caught. Chung's father found him and had to come back to the village and start farming. His family was very happy, but Chung was not happy. These 2 months of work had aroused the passion of construction and civil engineering in Chung. Also, he knew that he would never be able to get out of poverty by working in the fields, and that's why he tries to run twice more, and they found him in a few days. Finally, in 1934, at the age of 18, he attempted his fourth escape. And this time, no one stopped him. He reached Seoul, which is the capital of South Korea today. He did whatever work he got there. He was a construction laborer, then a factory worker, and finally, he got a job as a delivery boy in a baking rice store. Customers and shop owners were so impressed with his work that within 6 months, they got the responsibility to manage the store. After this, Chung worked hard and grew the shop. In 1937, the store owners seriously fell ill and took a surprising decision. Seeing Chung's hard work, they handed the store over to Chung. At the age of 22, Chung had become the owner of a business with employees. In the next 2 years, Chung worked harder, built trust and reputation in the market, which made the business grow rapidly. Everything was going well. Then a tragedy happened. It was World War II and Korea had Japan's rule. Japanese wanted sufficient rice supply to their military during the war, so they took over all the rice shops. They took away all the rice shops from Chung, and the business they had built over years ended in a single blow. Chung was very sad, but he didn't give up. If I do anything with my heart, I can be successful in it. With this thought, he started looking for a business that didn't have Japanese government interference. Very soon, he zeroed out the car repair business, and in 1940, he took a loan of 30,000 won and opened an Edo service garage. But this time, the luck was so bad that after a month of opening, the garage caught fire and everything burned to ashes. Chung's situation was quite difficult. He had to pay his loan and compensate the customers for the loss. A normal person could easily give up in such a situation, but Chung faced the problem as usual. He took a fresh loan and built a better garage than before. Chung saw that the biggest problem of the customers was that it took several weeks for their car to be repaired, so he made speed as the main focus. The cars that the other garages took 15 or 20 days to repair, he repaired them in 5 days. His garage was so successful that in the next 3 years, till 1943, his workforce had grown to 80 employees. By this time, Chung had repaid his entire loan and settled his family in Seoul. Business was growing rapidly, and then another major disaster happened. Japan wanted to make war-related equipment for World War II. so Japan took ownership of their garage and merged it with a local steel plant. Once again, the business that was built with their years of hard work was snatched away from them in a single blow. Chung had returned to square one. He had to return to his village with his family. But this time, he had a savings of 50,000 won. And he was confident that he would make a business again. After World War II, Japan's rule in Korea also ended. In the northern area of Korea, the Soviet Union was influenced, and in the southern area, America was influenced. Because both of them fought against Japan in World War II, Korea divided into North and South Korea. In 1946, Chung came back to Seoul and restarted his car repair business. The business was old, but this time the name was new. Hyundai Auto Service. Hyundai means modern. The car repair business was going well, and Chung noticed that America was building buildings for its military forces. He spotted a big opportunity in the construction business. He didn't have much experience in construction, but he still had the passion for construction, which he found in his young days by working like a laborer. And so in 1947, at the age of 31, he established the Hyundai Civil Works Company and took entry in the construction business. In the beginning, he got a lot of small jobs, but in 1950, his company was getting major construction projects, and now this was his major business. Everything was going well, only then there is another twist in the story. In June 1950, North Korea attacks South Korea. North Korean troops were very close to Seoul. Because of this, Chung had to leave his work and run away to Busan. But despite the crisis, Chung didn't sit back. At this time, the US Army was fighting against the North Korean Army. And they needed tents, warehouses and army headquarters. Chung observed that the Americans didn't lack money, they just needed reliable and timely delivery. And Chung gave the same to the Americans. They started again from a small team and adopted the can-do motto, meaning if the price is right, they were ready to take any construction project. There was a war and he faced many problems and losses. But after giving his word, he never left any project in the middle. Because of his reliability, he developed a strong relationship with the Americans. The war ended in 1952, but he still kept getting contracts from the Americans. Later, the South Korean government also started building bridges, dams and roads to rebuild the country. In all this, Hyundai played a major role and saw exponential growth in the business. Hyundai has made the biggest dam in South Korea, Soyeong Dam, and its most important expressway, Gyeongbu Expressway. In the 1960s, Chang had reached his early 50s and was the owner of a successful construction company, but he was not satisfied with it. Chang had made thousands of kilometers of roads, and now it was time to make cars on those roads. In 1967, Chang established Hyundai Motor Company. In 1968, they made a deal with Ford in which they were going to assemble the Cortina cars of Ford. The joint venture was successful for 2 years, and then conflicts started developing between the two companies. Ford didn't want Hyundai to make their own car, and in 1973, Chung ended this partnership and immediately started looking for new partners. They tried to deal with companies like General Motors and Volkswagen for manufacturing technology, but everyone refused. Finally that year they made an agreement with Japan's Mitsubishi Motors. Mitsubishi Hyundai was ready to give technology to make cars. The best part was that Hyundai could sell cars with their branding and name. Meanwhile, South Korean government also issued an order for automobile companies to make a citizen's car. A car that is affordable and reliable, and only South Korean parts are used. In 1976, Chung set up a new plant and Hyundai made South Korea's first ever mass-produced car, Hyundai's Pony. Because of its affordability, this car was so successful in South Korea that it captured 60% of the market share, and became the biggest car company in South Korea. But there was one catch. South Korea's total car market was only 30,000 cars, which was not sufficient to be profitable. Also, Hyundai Pony was as successful as the overseas market. The quality of the car was not good, it used to break in the summer, and it regularly had mechanical issues. And that's why Hyundai Motor Company was in losses for the last 7 years. People told Chung that they should close the company as soon as possible, but Chung's decision shocked everyone. Not only did they close the company, they were going to build a new car factory. 300,000 cars could be produced. The company's management didn't understand this decision. Who will buy 300,000 cars in the market of 30,000 cars? But Chung knew the answer. South Korean economy was growing rapidly, and every year thousands of people were getting economically empowered, which meant that in the next few years, the demand for cars was going to increase rapidly. Plus, Hyundai's new cars were specifically going to be made to export to foreign countries. This factory was ready in 1980. With many improvements, launched its Pony 2 car. Not only was this car a super hit in South Korea, but it was successfully exported to Africa, Latin America and countries like Canada. In the next few years, Hyundai sold 400,000 cars and became profitable. Hyundai was established as a decent car company at a global level, but it was still left to crack the world's toughest and biggest car market, USA, internationally. To become a major car company from a decent car company, it was necessary to be successful in the USA. When Hyundai studied the US market, they saw that the Japanese have captured the compact car segment, and the US companies already have cutthroat competition in the mid and large size market. That's why Hyundai targeted the subcompact market, where the competition was virtually zero. Along with that, Hyundai saw that the market of second-hand cars was huge in USA. They offered these customers their new Hyundai XL at the price of a second-hand car, with a 5-year warranty. This strategy shook the US car market. Second-hand car buyers instantly shifted to Hyundai XL. In 1986, Hyundai sold nearly in USA in 1987. In both these years, Hyundai XL became the top-selling imported car in USA. No other car company had seen such a huge success in the US market. And with this, Hyundai was established as a major car company at a global level. In the same year, at the age of 72, Chung retired from Hyundai and took the title of honorary chairman. After that, his brothers and sons took over the company's command and ran the company with the same determination as before. Hyundai is the third biggest car company in the world today, and in only 2022, they sold nearly 4 million cars. Though Hyundai is known globally only for its car business, but very few people know that there are 42 different companies in the Hyundai group, like Hyundai Elevator, Hyundai Information Technology and Hyundai Heavy Industries, which is the world's largest shipbuilding company. And because of Hyundai, South Korea has been able to make country that makes the most ships in the world. For South Korea, Hyundai is not a normal company. Hyundai is an institution that rebuilt the country, created thousands of jobs and gave South Korea global recognition. And a boy from the village started all this who didn't have basic facilities like food, education, healthcare. But he had immense passion, a vision and most importantly, a desire for better.